My name is Stella. I am 32 years old. This is not a story of romance that bloomed and lasted forever. This is the story of how I misunderstood love, how I trusted too deeply, and how betrayal taught me the most important lesson of my life. I always believed that if two people shared their bodies, their silences, their pain, then their future was automatically shared too. I tried very hard to separate emotions from intimacy, but I failed every single time. In the end, I lost both. I moved to Hyderabad after my divorce, carrying one suitcase and a heart that was already tired of hoping. My marriage had ended quietly, no drama, no shouting, just two people realizing they were wrong for each other. I didn't run from my past. I simply closed the door on it and moved forward. I joined a digital media consulting firm as a finance operations executive. I wasn't ambitious. I wasn't loud. I didn't stay late to impress anyone or fight for visibility. I came on time, finished my work, and went back to my small rented apartment. I lived simply. No luxury dreams. No big social circle. No hunger for attention. People described me as reserved or too serious. Men noticed me occasionally, but I had no interest in being noticed. Attention had once cost me everything. I thought I had learned my lessons. I was wrong. I met Rohan through a project. He was the creative strategy head, confident, charming, and visibly successful. He earned more than enough, lived in a designer apartment, and treated life like a celebration. Work was a game he always won. People admired him effortlessly. Women gravitated toward him naturally. And strangely, he gravitated toward me. At first, I didn't understand why. I barely spoke unless required. I never laughed loudly at his jokes. I never flirted. I never tried to impress him. Maybe that's what intrigued him. One late evening, I was still at my desk reconciling vendor payments when he stopped by. "Still here?" he asked casually. "I have work," I replied without looking up. That was how it started. Not romance, not attraction, just two people sharing silence in an office that had emptied out. Rohan slowly began finding reasons to be around me. He stayed back late. He asked for help he didn't really need. He offered coffee. He offered rides home. I resisted at first. I always did. But loneliness is patient, and kindness, when consistent, feels like safety. We began talking about work, about books, about life. He listened, really listened. No one had done that in a long time. When I finally told him about my divorce, he didn't judge me. He didn't pity me. He simply said, "You're stronger than you think." That sentence stayed with me. One evening turned into many. Conversations turned into comfort. Comfort turned into closeness. And closeness turned into love, at least on my side. I never asked him what we were. I assumed. I assumed that staying every night meant commitment. I assumed that holding my hand meant a future. I assumed that meeting my parents meant intention. He never promised marriage. He never spoke of forever. But he never stopped me from believing it either. I rearranged my life around him. I declined transfers. I stopped traveling alone. I imagined him in my future without confirming he wanted to be there. He never lied to me outright. He simply never told me the whole truth, and I never demanded it. One evening, casually, I mentioned marriage. Not a proposal, not a demand, just a possibility. The room went cold. "Marriage?" he laughed. "Why would we ruin something good?" I didn't understand. I asked quietly, "Don't you see me as your future?" He looked at me like I had spoken a foreign language. "You misunderstood everything," he said. I enjoy being with you. That doesn't mean I want to marry you. My chest felt hollow. So what was I to you? I asked. He shrugged. Someone I cared about, nothing more. That moment shattered me, not because he refused marriage, but because he revealed the truth so casually. For him, we were convenience. For me, we were destiny. The worst part wasn't his honesty. It was realizing that he knew I was emotionally invested and chose to stay anyway. He let me fall, knowing he wouldn't catch me. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I simply opened the door and asked him to leave. When he walked out, something else walked in. Clarity. I didn't chase him. I didn't blame myself. I didn't become bitter. I healed. I changed jobs. I rebuilt my routine. I learned to ask questions instead of assuming answers. I learned that love without clarity is self-betrayal, that intimacy without intention is a trap, that someone can treat you well and still not choose you. Today, I am stronger, not because I was loved, but because I walked away when I wasn't. Love is not about how much time someone gives you. It is about where they see you in their future. Never confuse attention with commitment. Never silence your needs to keep someone comfortable. And never mistake emotional availability for lifelong intention. Some betrayals don't break you. They wake you up.